I'm going to be sharing with you guys in this video reasons why I wasn't successful after quitting my 9-to-5. I'm sharing this with you guys so that way you guys can compare and see if you guys are ready to leave your 9-to-5 and kind of gauge where you guys are at. Also, I'm putting this out there so that way you guys can learn from my mistakes. I'm going to be sharing with you guys why I wasn't successful at first and the lessons that I learned after all of this. If you guys are new, welcome. My name is Christina Skiblo. If you are someone who is looking to leave your 9-to-5, then give this video a thumbs up so that way I know what type of content that you guys like, and so that way I can make more of it. Also, it really helps out the channel. If you're not familiar with my story, my last video I talked about how I ate shit, like Gary Vee says, for 2 years. I'm gonna leave a link at the end of this video so that way you guys can check it out. But pretty much, I ate shit for 2 years. So the first reason why I wasn't successful is because I didn't save enough money. We had saved about $5,000, and that quickly went because we ended up buying a car cash so that way we wouldn't have another car payment. We just needed a car to get us to and from work. Well, he needed a car to get him to and from work. So we bought a cheap truck, but it happened to need a new transmission right away. New transmission, it was like $1,600. It was really expensive. So we put a lot of money into this car. And one lesson here is do not make decisions out of desperation. I've done it several times and nothing good comes from it. So learn from that. Looking back, I should have saved at least 6 months worth of bills. And I'm not saying that because that's what everyone else says. I'm saying that because it took me 6 months to really start making more money. Also, not saving enough money, it just made me very anxious at some points because I felt like all I was worried about was how I was gonna pay my next bill and not so much focused on creating more revenue. The second reason why I wasn't successful is because I had no clarity. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't. All I really knew is that I wanted to leave my job. After all of this, I have really figured out what I wanted to do. My experiences have finally gave me the clarity that I need, and I now know what type of businesses that I want to create. And in 2020, that is my focus. Something that also really helped me was reading books. I'm the type of person that really likes to educate myself when I do not know something. I like to learn as much as possible and do my research. So I started reading more business books, and one book that really helped me, especially with clarity, is the book 6 Months to 6 Figures by Peter Vogt. He talks about just solely focusing on things that are gonna create revenue for you, and he also talks about gaining clarity. I've read that book twice already in the past 2 years, and it's a book that I definitely recommend. He talks about things that not everyone talks about. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna leave a link below, and anything that I'm talking about in this video, it will be in the description box. The third reason why I wasn't successful is because I didn't have reliable sources of income right away. I quit my job, but I didn't have enough income to keep us afloat. Bernard had his income, but my income definitely made a difference. So that is why we quickly sank. When I quit, my train of thought was if I had more time to do things like YouTube, Uber, Lyft, then I'd be able to make more money and to kind of balance that out. But it took me way longer to get the ball rolling because I was focused on stupid stuff, busy work, and not things that were gonna make me more money. You're gonna hear me talk about that a lot because that was a big lesson that I learned. So eventually, slowly, I did start to do more makeup. I did Uber and Lyft for a little bit, and I did also sell some things on Facebook as well. Something else that helped me was taking a social media course. And this social media course helped me become a social media manager. It taught me all the business aspects of being a social media manager. So that was really helpful because I ended up doing that shortly after I took that course. And the course that I took, I'll leave a link below to that as well. And then this past Christmas, it took me a while to do it, but I ended up going back to the job that I left. I mentioned that in my last video, just for a seasonal job, and I worked like 2-3 days a week, 4-hour shifts, and I didn't want to do that at first because I thought it would take up too much of my time. I thought it would distract me from trying to do YouTube and all the other things that I had planned or wanted to do. But now that I am making more money online, I see that that 4 hours really doesn't make that much of a difference because the way that I have things planned out, which I'll get to. So the fourth reason why I wasn't successful is because in the beginning I had absolutely no routine and no discipline. So when I first quit my job, I took my youngest son, out of daycare because I wanted to cut down on expenses. But that created a lot of distraction being home. Like, you think that it's easier and that you'll have more time, but honestly you get distracted way more easier than when you're at work because you're home. So I was constantly being pulled in different directions. That's something that took me a little bit to figure out and have more discipline with. In the beginning, my days consisted of a lot of busy work. For example, cleaning. I hated doing whatever with my house messy or things out of place. Like, I felt like cleaning would make me feel more productive, but in the end I learned like that was just busy work and something to make me feel more productive than I was. You want to focus on things that are gonna create revenue for you, so that means work first, cleaning second. I had no set routine, no filming days, no goals. It wasn't until I read that book, 6 Months to Six Figures. I don't mean to keep talking about it, but a lot of this does go back to that. But I realized, oh shit, I probably should start writing down my goals and trying to create a routine. And eventually I started batching my YouTube content, which I had found like game-changing for me. I have seen results with batching my content and I'm really happy with the results. Now, like I said, I started creating goals, but I also started planning out my content. So this is what I use to plan out my content as a social media manager and also my YouTube content. This has made a big difference in my day-to-day life. The owner of the content planner, she goes by Plan It, Post It, Profit. When you have a plan, you do profit from it. I don't like to put it like that. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but when you plan, good things come from it. And this has also been extremely helpful. And this is a daily planner and it tracks out your day by the hour. This helps me bring everything together, all the different hats that I wear throughout the day. So it helps me with mom life, it helps me with being a social media manager, cleaning, YouTube. It helps with all that, just planning out my day. So the fifth reason why I wasn't successful is because I let my emotions really get in the way sometimes. Like I said, I wasn't focused enough and I was focused on the wrong things, like just doing busy work. I also got really depressed in the beginning and I hit some really low points, which took away from what I really should have been focused on. And then also I was constantly thinking about paying my bills. That just took away my focus on what I should have been focusing on. And the sixth reason why I wasn't successful is because I didn't put myself out there enough. Like, I could have did more makeup, I should have put myself out there more as far as being a social media manager, and I should have started working part-time sooner. That way I wasn't like drowning in bills. And working part-time just would have been a lot easier to balance than working full-time. So you live and you learn. I had to fall on my face to learn who I was and how to handle things differently. I'm sharing this with you guys because no one talks about it. Everyone just talks about how they made $1 million and how successful their business is, but no one talks really about the beginning stages. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, so that way you guys can learn. I have learned from it. I'm ready to put it past me and I'm ready to grab 2020 by the balls. Thumbs up this video if you are too. I will see you guys in my next video. Check out my last video right here.